training with Adam Varga's group, and he just sits on the wash and pulls. So he'll be very good on the wash. And Adam's very fast, and that entire group's incredible.
All right, so let's do a quick count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 4 scratchings. I know Carlson's definitely not a starter.
I don't see Manfred from Austria, but I might have missed him.
Pallinger, okay, and I think we can run a rule through Antonio from Angola and Baladi from Algeria. I don't know, the Algerians haven't been seen all weekend, so I'm not quite
sure. Angola on the far side.
Could well be.
Yes.
It is, yeah. So the Angolan is here, Antonio.
They've made such progress. We were with them in the African Championship in Nigeria, and really nice guys, and I wish them all the best for this race.
But we didn't mention, by the way, Kenneth Kasperbauer, who's a big lad, and he's been putting in some pretty solid performances this week, so good to see him up there in the mix. Gee, it's a bit of a traffic jam.
They're fighting there for the wash. We've got both Hungarians, Fodor and Adolf, really doing well there.
And the Cuban there on the outside, looking strong, expecting a big thing from Pelia Cordova. So 4 athletes, and then maybe is it Jorge Enriquez who's not there?
No, he's there on the outside of Adolf in the white kit. The neutral and the refugee athletes, it's sometimes hard to see them with the full white kit, and then they blend in with the Hungarians as well.
Yep. So in the lead, it is the second of the Hungarians. Fodor at the moment looks like he is taking up the running.
Looking he's pushing there, he's pushing the pace. So we'll see if he pays for it later, but this race will get very tactical. And here the Cubans, the refugee athletes pushing up and against Adolf, and Balash holds him off there.
Look how wide he's taken him. Oh, what's happened here? Oof. I think a bit of contact there between the 2 inside boats, was it? Between Adolf's boat.
Definitely a bit of contact there for him to go so wide. And they're coming into the first buoy already.
Well, gee, that was interesting. A bit of argy-bargy.
Big move here for the first turn. Balash Adolf trying to overtake Fodor and doing it successfully to lead into the first turn.
So we have Hungary in front and second, Cuba third, and then we think it's Jorge Enriquez.
It is Enriquez.
Sitting fourth at the moment, just dropping off the pace a little bit.
He might be being patient or not want to get involved with the games of the wash, because it seems these guys are definitely used to wash going up to the top, so maybe just rather stay out the chaos and just slightly behind and wait for the race to unfold.
So the Cuban definitely not wanting to let the Hungarians get away from him here, because if the Hungarians get away to get... Oh, what's happened here? Another...
Cuban, so the boat for Hungary, the tail can't swing out if the Cuban's too close. So both get pushed wide, which is why it's so critical to be near the front in that first turn.
So Balos Adolf has taken over as the leader, just ahead of Nicolas Fodor, but the Cuban is right there on his tail, Pelia Cordova. This again will come down to the first portage is going to be incredibly important. Oh, there's a lot of contact.
He's struggling with the wash
and
the C1 without the rudder. So in the kayak, he would be able to ride the wash there using the rudder, but he's struggling there without the rudder on the wash. Both Hungarians looking great.
They are looking very strong. Cuba, of course, have a great history as well in canoe boats, so he might be looking a bit uncomfortable at times, but they are very, very good. All right, so Adolf is out of the water. Now the Cuban is coming in behind him. Oh!
Balash Adolf showing exactly how to do it in a canoe boat. Smooth exit, entry, emptying the boat on the run. Unbelievable athlete.
So I was standing not far from Nicolas Fodor a little bit earlier on this afternoon. He's a very tall man.
Very different build to Balash. Balash is tall but fairly skinny.
I reckon Nicolas Fodor, he might be close to 7 foot, that bloke. He's a giant.
The Hungarians find him, man.
Oh, didn't get in all that clearly. Okay, so...
Very smooth entry from Cuba.
Yep. And is that enough to get him into second position? Now, who's back here? It looks like it is Jimenez. So he's definitely there from Chile.
Kasperbauer running with them.
Kasperbauer, the American, so they are there.
It's great to have Pan America dominating the front of this race with the Hungarians. It shows the strength of the canoe discipline in the West.
So who haven't we called yet? We haven't seen the athlete from Tajikistan.
No.
Haven't spotted him. As you said, Palinger, maybe we haven't seen him either.
Yeah, I don't think Manfred started.
No.
They're on the way back to Vienna already.
Yep. So Fodor in with an interesting challenge, and there is the Angolan, definitely.
Hanging tough there, not far behind
No.
the Americans.
So the Cuban now splits the two Hungarians. It is Adolf in front. It is Pelea Cordova sitting in second, and then Fodor sitting third at the moment. Do you reckon the Hungarians, will they team up here to try and squeeze the Cuban out?
I don't think so. I think the Hungarians in this race will be every man for himself. But
Yeah.
they're using the wash nicely here. You can try and rest into the wind, and both of those athletes are on the wash of each other. So they're saving energy, but we don't know if Balázs Adolf is relaxed in the front, just keeping a nice controlled rhythm into the wind, or if he's trying to push. From how I know him, he looks very relaxed, and I think saving some energy.
So these three are getting into a very nice rhythm at the front. Balázs Adolf, he's been there so many times, such an accomplished 5,000-meter paddler, as is the Cuban Pelea Cordova, and Nicholas Fodor sitting third at the moment. That'll be a nice advantage spot. See those chaps there in the rubber dinghy in the middle of it?
Hey, great for you. You just need some nice snacks on the
And
boat.
maybe some strawberry daiquiris or something like that, just to get you through the afternoon.
100%.
All right, let's see what happens on this corner, because this is where races can be run and won as well. Adolf, they're all taking it pretty easy. Adolf in front.
Very relaxed.
Pelea second, Fodor third as they come around now, and then they'll head for the pontoon again.
Good turns from all athletes. They're all looking relaxed. I'm a bit sad Sebastian Rendel's not racing this race. That would have added definitely another
I
dimension.
think he's off celebrating because he got the official qualification today for Germany, so he's off to a 4th Olympic Games.
Incredible athlete.
Just amazing.
Balázs has picked up the pace here.
But Pelea's going with him. Look at this. He's right there, breathing down his neck. Fodor is just holding on. These three have the race to themselves at the moment. Jorge Enriquez, we're just looking out. I'm looking out the window here. He's probably about 50 meters behind, maybe a little bit further from Fodor. So just a big gap widening up there between third and fourth. We're coming down now. Last time they went to exactly the same spot for that, and I think they're going to do it again. Now, I tell you what, Adolf could squeeze the Cuban out here, and he has
exactly
done.
what he's done. So smooth.
Yep.
That's well rehearsed.
But the Cuban's good. He's good. He's quite proficient at the
Both these athletes running
transition.
well.
Yep.
Yo, this is going to be a real battle.
Fodor now is up and away, and look at this. The refugee athlete,
He's right
Jorge
there.
Enriquez, has really made up some ground. So just in the last 50 meters or so leading into that portage. So Adolf is in the water. So is Pelea. And these two, now there's an interesting battle here for third. Gee, that's not very tidy.
Very slow from Fodor.
Yeah. He's really allowed Jorge Enriquez to slip in here, and now he's got a battle on for that bronze medal.
Enriquez is looking great. He seems to have gotten a second wind and really built into the race nicely.
So Jorge Enriquez now challenging for the bronze. These two out in front.
Very controlled turn again. Balázs Adolf's led the large majority of this race, so it'll be interesting to see if he lets the Cuban through to try and make him do some work and waste some energy.
Is there any etiquette out there at all, Callum? Like, are you expected, if you're out there, if there's two of you racing together, are you expected to share the workload?
Yes and no. My old coach, what he used to say just rings in my ear, there's no prize for pulling. There's no prize for pulling.
Yeah,
Nothing at all. There's no most aggressive, like the Tour de France have most aggressive ride of the day. There's nothing yet.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Yeah. So really it's just if you've got the goodness of your heart, if you want to do it, but most people probably wouldn't.
The key is if you're leading, I think, when the race is in this current situation, if I was like Balázs Adolf leading, I would keep it very controlled if I'm not attacking. I'd keep it really calm and then only go hard if you're attacking.
This has been a nice race here from the Angolan. I'm liking the look of what he's put in here. He is right up there alongside Manuel Antonio. Manuel Antonio is the Angolan. He's right up there alongside the Jimenez from Spain. So a nice little battle there. There's lots of little battles breaking out all around as the Cuban now moves into the lead. Pellier has taken over. Adolf just quite happy to relinquish that role just for a little bit.
He seems to be leading quicker than Adolf would, just from the naked eye. We don't have any speed data, but I think he's pulling harder than Adolf was, which would be interesting to see. Already at the turn, the guys are moving.
I reckon there's probably about a 40-metre gap then to the third and fourth boats. They're just coming around the turn now. But they have now got, they can push each other along here, although it looks like just on the turn, looks like Fodor's made a bit of a move, and Jorge Enriquez, maybe turns aren't his thing. He's falling off a little bit there, but coming down now to the, we're up to the third.
We've had 2 portages already, coming into the third.
Coming into the third, and will they go to the same side? Will Adolf want to get to the pontoon first? It looks like he does. He wants to get there and to have the choice of sides, the choice of where to pick out the boat from. So Adolf.
It was a very confident move from Adolf. It was very confident, moved straight past the Cuban. Definitely wants to lead into these portages. I think he thinks it's safer if you can maybe lose half a second from a bad put-in, and it's fine if you're in front.
So coming down for portage number 3, and I can tell you in the battle for third, they've come up alongside each other again. So it's going to, if Fodor has a portage like his last one, then he's going to find himself off the pace well and truly. So Adolf is up and away, as is Pellier Cordova.
Adolf emptying the boat there, keeping the boat dry and no extra weight. The Cuban hasn't, so maybe that will play a factor in later in the race if he's got a boat full of water.
Oh, and Fodor has made an absolute mess of getting out of his boat in the background. So the refugee athlete has run straight past him. So we'll see, and Adolf's now into the water. Pellier Cordova's in. You can see there's the big move that's been made on that exit from the water.
That shot really shows Fodor really is a giant.
He so is. Like, he honestly could be the biggest man I've ever met in my life.
We need Dostal to do the 5K again.
Yes.
Like he did in the 1 European.
Yeah, yep. I think Fodor's fallen off the pace now a little bit. He'll have to try and put in some hard yards to try and pick up the gap. These two, though, they've been going cheek by jowl for the last couple of laps, just not giving each other an inch.
The games have begun.
Yep.
We saw them looking at each other. Psychological battles begin, and physical.
So what's happening here is Kasperger might look like he might have run up the white flag, has he? What's going on there? Looks like the
stroke looks very long. Either he's very tired and he's just trying to hit the water hard and let the boat glide, or he's hit the wall.
Could be a wall. Could be a wall case there, because the Chilean is closing in on him at a great rate of knots, Jimenez. The Angolan there sitting back behind him as well. That's just the view from our window. Let's look at the battle at the front, though. Ballas Adolf back where he likes to be in front. The Cuban Pellier Cordova back sitting outside the Hungarian. And then back in third. It is a bit of a gap now, quite a big gap actually. It's widening right up.
Casper Bauer is very tired.
He is absolutely buggered. He's still got enough energy to wave, but that's about it, I think.
You need a seconding zone in the 5,000 now, like marathon. You can get a gel or a bit of sugar and caffeine.
Exactly what he needs.
These three, I think, are going to end up together, which will make this battle very fascinating.
So USA, Chile, and Angola.
Chile playing it very safe at the end there.
Yep.
But safe is better than swimming. The moment you're in swimming, you're losing lots of time, and you end up on the Planet Canoe reel as well,
yes,
which isn't too good.
Yes, you do, and everybody laughs at you, and it's very unpleasant.
Yeah, that's the last reel you want to end up on. You want to have the reel of you finishing the race in first, not on the portage swimming reel.
I can't remember. I think it was who was it? I think it was Ross from America. I think it was him.
It was Jonas Ecker of America, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And he got off and the boat went in the opposite direction. And
I was just behind him when that happened, and it was like chaos last year. Shame, poor guy.
And he had to jump in after his boat, didn't he? Oh, it was just an absolute mess.
Congratulations to him. Him and Aaron Small have also qualified for the Olympics for US, so congratulations to those two guys.
Luckily, there's no portages in the Olympics, chaps.
Very lucky for them. They can move a K2 500, and Jonas can do a good K1000, so I think they'll have a very good Paris.
And good to see, too, ahead of Los Angeles, of course, that some Americans are getting some Olympic experience. Righto, so we've got Balázs Adolf and Jose Ramon Pelia Cordova still going right next to each other as they come down now for what I think is the fourth.
Yes, the fourth portage. Balázs still leading into the portages.
Yeah, look at them. They're still right next to each other. They're just waiting for each other to make a mistake. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, squeeze.
Oh, there it is. There's the move. There is. Oh, what's going to happen here? This is drama. Oh,
as you get tired, people make mistakes.
I thought he was going to lose his boat then.
He did very well to recover from that. He was actually really calm. But as people get tired, they make mistakes, and you could even hear the crowd through the soundproof booth.
They could see.
You could hear it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
By the way, the Cuban did nothing wrong there. Totally within his rights to go on the inside there, and that was Balázs who decided to take that corner.
He's actually seemed to have actually opened up a gap there, Balázs. He's recovered very well. See if they're still together when the camera pans back. Okay, looking good.
Yeah, he's moved into a clear bronze medal position now. And as you predicted, Callum, a nice battle here between these three. Unfortunately for Kenneth Kaspergar, his race looks like it might be over because he is now fallen behind the group. So let's have a look here. You can see
just a bit too much momentum pushing the boat away. A little bit too much
momentum, and the boat deciding to go off in the opposite direction, and a bit of heartburn there for Balázs Adolf. Jumped out, and he thought, "Where's my boat gone?"
He did so well to recover from that. That could have been race over.
It really, really could have been. So fascinating. I love the portages in this race. I don't know that there's a little bit of a bunny hop there for. I think he was just trying to make sure he didn't get hit by
the boat. They're together.
Yeah, they're back together again.
He's trying to rest on the wash now, maybe try and recompose a bit as well mentally. Just try and...
The exciting thing is, Callum, we've got one more portage to go.
More time for chaos.
Yep.
This is going to be a huge battle in the final few laps.
It really, really is. We're having a wonderful race for gold here between the Cuban and the Hungarian. And I'm looking here outside our window, and it looks like poor old Kasperbauer from the United States, the Angolan. In fact, the Angolan has gone past both the Chilean and the American. So this has been, I'm really impressed by the performance of Manuel Antonio from Angola.
It's so great to see another African nation improving and performing well and really growing the sport in Africa and just improving. We don't have the facilities or the resources in Africa, so any African doing well is a great victory for the continent.
Yeah, he's looking at a potential fifth in a World Cup 5,000 metre race, which is pretty impressive.
It'll be fantastic for him. I know Angola qualified the C2 for the Olympics, so maybe he'll be part of the crew when it comes to Paris. Fantastic for Angola.
So he's now coming in for the portage, but at the top of the screen, this battle continues between the Cuban and the Hungarian. Now, Balázs Adolf likes to get to the pontoon first.
Great move on the inside there, using the inside to his advantage to take the lead, and this is a big move. This is a very big move, trying to attack him on the outside of the turn. Craig got half a boat length there.
I wonder whether he will be able to maintain that lead, though, because he really doesn't want a repeat of the last water exit.
This is all in. He's emptying the tank.
Yeah, he's trying to break him, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's trying to break the Cuban. And at this stage, he looks like he's moving away from Pelia Cordova. So Pelia Cordova really needs to lift now. He cannot let Balázs Adolf get too far ahead. He's just too strong a paddler.
Psychologically, that's heartbreaking for the Cuban to lose a boat length so quickly. Adolf had a gear in reserve there.
All right.
I think he rested into the wind.
Yep.
And then composed himself and now prepared a lot slower this time.
And nice little bunny hop again. That's a much better exit. All right, what has the Cuban got? Has he got anything left at all?
Still moving well.
Needs to get in really smooth though here.
Hungarian's got the drums going. They'll push Adolf through. You hear the horns in the background racing in Szeged.
Yep.
It's so amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it? I love coming here as a spectator. It's just so wonderful. Here's the bell. Balas Adolf in the water first. Some good distance between himself now and Pellier, the Cuban. Enriquez is making a bit of a move. The refugee athlete, though, has he got too much work to do, though, to make up that ground?
You can fall apart a lot and lose a lot of time in the last lap, so maybe he's timed it to perfection. We'll just have to find out.
There is the big man, Fodor. His chances of a medal, unfortunately, have slipped away.
Still running well, still giving his best, and on the home course for Hungarian, I know they'll push all the way to the line.
So we are on the last lap for the leaders, the race leaders, and I can tell you as well, looking out my window, that Manuel Antonio, the Angolan, is clearly in 5th at the moment, and there's a big gap between him and 6th and 7th in the field. So what a great result there for Angola. But look at Balas Adolf now. He's got the water to himself.
Quick little look behind, and see he's got a gap. His stroke rate's high. He's moving very well.
Can the Cuban pull something out here? It looks a bit too hard. I'm looking again. I look out from our vantage point here, and there's a big gap. That is a big gap. I mean, just in a blink of the eye, Callum, he's really shot this race to pieces, hasn't he?
It was an all-in move at that top boy.
Yep.
I think it was flat out, and it was a big roll of the dice, because if that doesn't work, you pay for it. So no risk, no reward in this game. So
I would think that Cordova's big focus now will be just to hold on to second to make sure, and there is a big gap there. I mean, Enriquez is probably, I'm going to say 80, maybe even 100 meters behind the Cuban at the moment. That's too much distance to make up in this amount of time.
Yeah, it's too much. I know all these athletes now at this point just get to the line as quick as possible.
Yep.
Just end the suffering almost.
Yep. Well, we could have a lapping here because Balas Adolf is coming around at the top of the course. He's closing in on Kenneth Kasperbauer.
And Jimenez as well is not safe there.
No. So what happens if you get lapped here? Do you have to pull out? I think
normally you have to pull out. I'm not sure with the rules this year because I'm not racing, but last year if you got lapped you had to pull out. Yeah. Not the most pleasant.
No. You can see there's Kasperbauer on your left, and look at Balas Adolf there. He's going to go charging past the American. That would be heartbreaking for them as well, to see someone come past you, and especially paddling as fast and as smoothly as Balas Adolf is. He is going to come down here and take another 5,000 meter gold medal.
Fantastic for him, such a phenomenal athlete, and I know he loves these longer races. I think he's also raced marathon in the past.
Yep, he has.
So I think this is he loves this type of racing, and even in training, he always looking for the endurance intervals.
So Balas Adolf comes down. The crowd who have come out this afternoon in the sunshine here in Szeged are giving him a warm round of applause. A very well judged race there for the Hungarian.
He's even opening the taps now, making sure he finishes strong to the line. You can see the wash off the back of the boat picking up as the speed increases.
Putting on a bit of showboating here, that's fair enough. If you're in the gold medal position, you can do that sort of stuff. Balas Adolf, congratulations. Gold for Hungary. It's going to be silver for Cuba.
It tells the Angolans to go past. Still had enough awareness to know that. That's incredible. I thought he'd be more tired.
And there is silver for Cuba, and it is going to be Fernando Jorge Enriquez representing the refugee countries. He will take the bronze.
Fantastic race for those three medalists, and as we saw from Enriquez, he was off at the beginning and he caught up. Another great thing about these 5,000 meter races is things can change so much.
Tough day at the office for the big, tall Hungarian. He was up there challenging for a medal at one stage, but again, Callum didn't have a great portage. I think it was the second portage where it didn't quite go quite the way he would have liked.
I think he used a lot of energy in the first part of the race to take the start there and really dictate the pace to the first turn. I think he was going really hard, and I think he paid for it. But you need to be out the chaos at the start, and it's a choice you got to make, and you have to be at the front. So if you use a lot of energy, it's just one of those things.
So Nicholas Fodor comes down, crosses the line in 4th position. So confirming our medalist, gold going to Balázs Adolf from Hungary. Silver went to Jose Ramon Pelia Cordova from Cuba. And 3rd went to Fernando the former Cuban, Fernando Dayan Jorge Enriquez taking the 3rd position.
It's so tricky with these C1s not having a rudder, and you can see there, you lose it for one mislean and you're into the other boat because the wash pulls you in. So in a kayak, you can use the rudder when you're on the wash and just keep angling the nose out. In a C1, you have to do it with leaning, and it's an incredible skill.
So the paddler from Angola, Manuel Antonio, is now coming into the final bend, almost. The Chilean looks like he might be making up a bit of ground on him. But at this stage, it is Antonio from Angola who's about to do the final turn, and he will, I'm sure, get a very warm round of applause as he comes down in front of the crowd here to take 5th position.
So fantastic to see an African in the top 5. So good for the continent.
Where were your continental qualifiers this year?
Last year in November, they were in Abuja, Nigeria.
How was that?
It was alright. South Africa, we did very well. We qualified our maximum slots in kayak. We don't have canoe down there.
No.
And it was a challenging competition. The conditions were quite challenging, but we're happy with it.
Now, is that, correct me if I'm wrong, is that a relatively new facility there as well, or is that...
It's the first time, I think.
Yep.
It was nice to have quite a lot of camaraderie amongst the African countries, and everyone, you can just see everyone's trying to improve. And like, I know like some of the Europeans and some of the other countries might look down on us, but they just don't understand our circumstances.
It's a totally different atmosphere, totally different environment there for paddling. And I mean, the Europeans, they complain when they have to travel to Portugal, for goodness sake.
It's crazy.
They do. I mean, seriously, I've been around this sport, and they say, okay, we're going to go to Portugal, which is, by the way, it's a magnificent venue in Portugal. I love going there. And you hear some of the other European countries go, oh, it's so bloody far. And like the South Africans and the Australians and the New Zealanders, they look at you going, what are you talking about?
The New Zealanders go, it's
what
too far down to
Auckland.
Auckland.
Come on, man. This is like... It's too far.
Too far. Yeah, it's way and like to get to Budapest, for example, from South Africa, there's no direct flight.
No, of course not.
Yeah, so we have to go via the Middle East, Zurich, and it takes forever.
Yeah, they have no concept. Manuel Antonio, here he is, folks. Big round of applause for the man from Angola. He's going to come down. You can hear the crowd. Really generous support.
Well, that's Angola. I hope Pemba's watching on the live stream. Hello to you if you are.
Sure they will be, and they'll be all cheering, won't they? They'd be very happy to see Manuel Antonio take 5th position at a World Cup 500 meterless. Good on you, Kenneth Kasperbauer. I reckon those last couple of laps would have hurt like hell.
Oof, cramping. Is well done. That takes a lot of guts to finish a race like that.
Chile finished in 6th, Kasperbauer. Hey, look at this. Why didn't you do that earlier, my friend?
I think he's a 200-meter guy at heart.
Look at this. He's put on a show. Whoa!
Don't fall in.
Bit of showboating there from Kenneth.
If he was with Balázs Adolf, he would have won.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. I tell you what, though, Callum,
well done.
If you were his coach, wouldn't you say, how come you had so much energy left when you looked like you were almost dead 2 laps ago?
If I was his coach, I wouldn't inquire today. Yeah. But in about 2-3 days' time, I was saying,